let an opponent come into your building. Oh, we're pretty competitive early. You know, we can also, man, what an unfortunate game for you to actually get the foul trouble. It's the first time that's happened in a while, but it's part of the game. But you can't let the opponent come in and shoot 67% in your own building, out rebound you by 12. We're one of the best in the country. Second chance points, we get beat in that area by 11. 50-50 balls, they beat us by 3. So you can say that you want to do this, you want to do that, and the numbers tell something else. Again, credit to Memphis. They were the aggressor, especially in the second half. We had no answer for Dame Danger the entire game. And then P.J. Haggerty took over down the stretch, and that's what All-American candidates do.
Doing something different on Haggerty early on, and she went go down there.
We were putting the ball in the basket, so they had to take it out of the net. And even when we were doing that in the second half, they said, hey man, we're going to speed them down the floor, so we couldn't get our zone set. And then we had no answer, just him one-on-one. And he made some tough ones. He makes those 10-foot pull-ups look easy. Those are hard shots. And then they just got us down. The biggest disappointment for me was the fact, and I'll go back and watch the tape, and I'll watch it again, but the fact that we just didn't put bodies on the glass. You're not going to win a game when you get out rebounded by 12 and you allow the other team to shoot 67%. We discombobulated. We got half our team in man, half our team in zone. They're dunking. We're trying to one trap and foul. We got the guy that we want to foul with the ball. We don't foul. He goes and puts us in the basket. It's pretty incredible things down the stretch that we just didn't show enough.
6-minute stretch in the second half where P.J. Haggerty, I think he scored 13 points or something like that. 6-minute stretch. Was it him or you guys are coming?
Yeah, we're bad defensively. I mean, I don't know if you've looked. We've struggled to guard the bounce all year, and he's the best in our league and one of the best in college basketball off the bounce. We just didn't stay in front of the basketball. And usually we have Yaks in the back anchoring us, and we picked up his third, and then he picked up his fourth, and then he wasn't going to play any more defense, and so they were just kind of going through us. And usually, him and Cisse and Quincy Ballard are all guys that block shots, and he just didn't give us a presence there because I think he was just so concerned with trying to stay in the game. So he wasn't aggressive. So we weren't able to guard him off the bounce. Then we weren't able to have any rim protection, and then when they did miss again, 15 big offensive rebounds. Nick Jordan with a couple of huge ones, and then again, Dame Danger. Man, that kid's had a hell of a year.
We guys picking up his third late in the first half. Did you consider not putting it back in?
Yeah, I was just trying. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm usually a 2-foul-and-out guy, but I understand the importance of the game. The game was sliding on us a little bit. I think it was back down to 1, and then we made a little bit of a spurt. He's our stabilizing force. They were really pressuring our guards. Roger Boyd had a good game. I mean, he's going to have some turnovers, but thank goodness he was able to step up and make some shots for us and physically give us a presence with that ball. But when, we run a lot of stuff through games. And so I was trying to get the ball out of our guards' hands to take some pressure off of him, run offense through Yaks, let him facilitate. But, tonight it was just a tough night for him to have a tough night. You're not going to beat the 18th ranked team in the country unless you're firing on all cylinders, and that was far from the case for us tonight.
Early on, did you like the approach from your guys?
Loved it. Yeah, I thought we were bad early. Turnovers, a couple of missed open looks, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm counting, okay, that's about 4, 6, 8 that we've left on the floor that, boy, we're going to need. And then we settled in. I think the first 4 minutes the game was 6-3, and then the next 4 minutes we scored 15 points. We really settled in and got into a rhythm, started being the aggressor, had them on their heels. I guess our biggest lead was 11 points with about 5 and change to go in the half. And then in the second half, man, they came out and scored, I think, maybe 5, 6 straight possessions. Really got right back into the game and took complete control.
Did it seem to you like early on, kind of just talked about it a little bit, it seemed like both teams were dealing some jitters, but it seemed like you guys had good jitters and Memphis had some, I guess, not so good jitters?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a nervousness. I certainly don't think Memphis was nervous. The game was what they've been through this year, and I didn't sense it out of our guys. I didn't think it was a nervousness. I think it was an over anxiousness. Sometimes in basketball you can go a little too fast. Play fast, never hurry. And I thought we were really out of sync early. When we settled in, it's good to see the ball go in the basket. Settled in, we're able to get to our zone. Our 2-3 zone was effective in the first half. Second half, we were trying to get to it. When we scored, we couldn't. They just ran it right down us. Our second line were late. just, things you can't do if you want to win a regular season championship. You just cannot do those things.
When
You
you
talked about, you said yourself, you can say one thing, and the stats, critical reference stats show another. After as much as was made of this game in terms of, this rivalry and the history with these two teams, and your guys talking about, kind of dreaming, if you will, of this moment, would you say your team didn't match the moment emotionally? Is that fair to say, or how would you kind of characterize what happened there?
I don't even think it was that. I think the game of basketball is like the game of life. It comes down to one thing: execution. Everybody's got great ideas, great theories. Who can execute? And tonight, Memphis was the better executing team. I thought both teams. I thought it was we had a good crew doing the game, and the game was frenetic, man. It was very, very physical. It literally, and they did, I guess, for 2 or 3 minute stretch, they would call a foul almost every trip. And then they kind of backed off that a little bit. So the game was physical, it was frenetic, it was athletic, it was fast. I just think it came down to execution, and Memphis did a better job of executing. And that's both offensively and defensively. I think their pressure bothered us. Now all of a sudden we've got our two-guard initiating offense as opposed to our point. We had some in without Jackson again for long stretches because we can really utilize him to be a primary ball handler and an attacker. He's good off the bounce, and we didn't see a lot of that tonight.
And with Yaks having a uncharacteristic game for him, 4 of 10 and the 4 fouls, like you mentioned, is that kind of somewhat being maybe caught up in the back and forth with Dane Danger, or
he
he
would-
would up there?
I think that Yaks is certainly, he was excited. We had a great crowd, man. Birmingham came out, and Memphis obviously travels, and I thought it was an electric building on a Sunday in early March. I just think, again, it comes down to execution. I think we had opportunities early. We chart a thing called clean looks, and the guys that cover us locally have heard this. That is the right guy taking the right shot for him. Those are shots that we categorize as we work to get them, and we would take them again and again and again. This team, I've been statting this for 18 years. This is my 18th year as a head coach, and this team is the worst I've ever had. Clean looks, you should be in the mid-50s because you're going to have some contested looks, then that percentage is going to go down. This team's in the low 40s in clean looks, and today we're 11 for 26. So I'm foolish to think that's going to change. Well, how have we been able to win 19 games then? We've done a great job off our offensive glass. Today we get outscored by 11 points on second chance points. We've done a great job on scoring points off turnovers. We've done a great job of playing through in the paint. Memphis beat us in the paint. Memphis beat us on second chance points. So when we don't capitalize on those areas, our margin for error ends up being 7 points, and that's where it came from.
knowing how important Yaks is for you on both ends of the floor, when he picks up his fourth, is the coaching point out there be careful, or because it felt like defensively you were playing a man down sometimes?
Yeah, and you want to be careful, but at the same time, what's the point of you being out there if you're not going to give us a presence? He's our best, he's the reigning defensive player of the year. I thought he made an incredible block in the first half. Again, I didn't see foul 2. Foul 3 was kind of, oh, man. But it's bang, bang, and again, the crew, I talked to the crew, man. The thing's happening so fast, they're not thinking, hey, man, he's got 2 fouls, okay, we'll let that play. They're just calling the game. And the game was very frenetic early. It's unfortunate, but that's not an excuse. Memphis came in here and did what they had to do. They dominated us in the paint. They dominated us with physicality, and man, they executed the second half.
Memphis had one player hit 3 all game. Kobe Bryant. What do you make of the
Man, I think the head coach did a really bad job of trying to get our guys to understand. I said in the pregame with David Crane, our announcer in radio, that if we allow him to get off a catch and shoot, that's our fault. That's what he does. Now, he made a couple off the bounce, but he's a catch and shoot guy, and I think he's the X factor. PJ's going to do PJ. I think Danger's been like one of the best bigs in college basketball since our first meeting. We got to have a third guy. Who's going to be your third guy? And when Kobe Rogers is in sync like he was today, man, they are a handful. Thank you.
I covered you on this.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, bro.
Everything you taught me my first couple of years of business.
Awesome.